Welcome to the final week. I'm so sad it's over. This has been so much fun to play again. So let's get into it. The final week is the National Championships, which is held in the USA. And I'll talk through a couple things throughout this week. But yeah, it's such an amazing competition to do. Like, just everything about this game is so above its time. And I wish that Golden Serve Challenge had been a little bit more like this. I do feel the only downside is we don't get we lose a whole day of activities, and then we also lose whatever activity we wanted to do if there is a mission that is running or needs to be done. So I feel like that's the downside to this game, but otherwise I absolutely love it.
There we were, all back together again, Pa, Ma, and me, and we had a swell time on the new ranch. Orishaalka made great progress, and I started winning my first competitions. It was at that point that the Sycamore Riding Academy contacted me. But just after they did, another disaster happened. The local factory had problems and started spewing poison out into the air. It started affecting the animals, and all the horses on the ranch started dying from this kind of foot and mouth disease. Orishaalka was the last to go. I prayed every day that he'd be okay, but there was nothing I could do. I got really down after that, and my ma tried everything to lift me back up. The ranch had to close again, and this time my folks were ruined. Not knowing what to do, they threw everything they had into sending me here.
But your parents are okay these days, aren't they?
No, they're totally poor. They live in a trailer and work when they can. They have nothing left in the world. That's why I want to become a champion, so I can help them, like they helped me to come here.
That's such a sad story, but you have so much courage. I so hope that you'll make it.
Hey, don't look so down. Look on the bright side. I gotta say, though, thanks for listening all the way through. You did well. You've heard all there is to hear. Thanks for listening to me all the way through.
I left off with the suggestion my adoptive parents made me. Do you remember? Well, their idea was for me to take part in a race that is held to coincide with the Naadam festival. It's a huge race that dates back to the dawn of time, in which every year more than 1,000 riders take part. They thought it was the kind of challenge that could teach me a thing or two. I was totally overexcited about such a huge competition. I set off immediately to join the race. I got there and started competing, running race after race, and I kept winning. All the time, people kept making fun of me, saying I had no business there. But my anger and determination saw me through. I beat them all. My adoptive parents asked me several times if I wanted to stop. But the thrill of victory went to my head and I wanted more and more. I should have listened to them instead of listening to my pride. Maybe some other time.
At last, the moment we've been waiting for.
It's only the first part. There's a second competition lined up for us at the end of the week.
I've got butterflies in my stomach. I don't know how you can manage to stay so calm.
Looks can be very deceiving.
Mesdemoiselles, il est temps! À vous de jouer!
selected! I've been selected!
No big surprise. Have you never noticed how powerful your horse is?
He must have felt how important this competition was. I've never seen him like that before.
Would you come along with us, please, miss?
Why?
Your horse has tested positive to a drugs test. We are obliged to take you into custody.
Oh, Esteban, I don't know what to do. You believe me when I say that I didn't do anything, don't you?
Of course. Someone's got it in for you. It's obvious. We're going to investigate with the others. I'm sure we'll find the culprit.
Esteban, I want you to take care of my horse. Use him for the competition. Make sure he wins.
Thank you. We've already organized the transfer with the director. He's the best horse in the competition, and he absolutely has to take part.
Time to be gone, young man.
Don't worry. We'll find the culprit. Trust me.
Always optimistic. What would I do without you? I love you.
I know.
You're a bit too confident. And what's with the rolled-up sleeve look? A halfway trip back to the 80s?
No, it's silly, I know, but I lost a cufflink from my cuff a while ago. I really must get another one to sew back.
Young man!
Esteban, is it you? I absolutely... That's not possible. He couldn't have done. Let me out of here. I'm innocent.
No, take it easy and everything will be all right.
Ginger, I need your help. I've got to open the door to Esteban's bedroom.
Esteban? But that's impossible. Listen, I'm gonna give you a hand. They've no right to lock you up like that.
Spike, I found out the truth. Esteban's behind it all.
Looks like our little princess has finally woken up and smelled the coffee.
What? You mean you knew?
No, let's just say I always had my little doubts. He's a touch too squeaky clean for comfort, if you want my opinion.
Why didn't you tell me?
You look so love-struck, I didn't think you'd believe me.
I guess you're right. But can you help me? I've got to search his room and try and find some proof.
Sure thing, princess. That's one thing I certainly can help you do.
Q, can you help me?
Yes, the others told me everything. We haven't got a moment to lose. Here's what I can do for you.
As you can see, this order form is in Esteban's name and this cufflink belongs to him too. I found it in my horse box. Esteban is definitely the culprit.
But what could possibly have motivated him?
I'm afraid I don't have any answer to that one.
You'd better spill the beans, young man.
The horse was going to be mine. They were going to give him to me. With him, I could have won. But because Miss Goody Two-Shoes saved him from the fire, she got to keep him. All I could think of was trying to get her expelled so that I could have my horse back.
And why was the horse so important to you?
Because he's a thoroughbred from a long line of exceptional champions. With a horse like him, I could have gone to the Olympic Games.
You didn't think twice about poisoning him, though.
The dose was small. There was no risk to his life.
You forget one thing. A good horse is indeed important for success, but a good horse is not the be-all and end-all. Your relationship with your horse is much more crucial. Who's to say the horse would have brought you the results you wanted? You have learned absolutely nothing here.
Can you leave us alone for a few minutes? How could you?
Nothing would have happened if they hadn't given you that horse.
What you did was disgusting. I'll never be able to forgive you. So what happened next?
Keep your hair on, I'm getting there. Shirley and me were chuffed with our new group, but the drummer of the group was chuffed with Shirley. And Shirley was chuffed with his attentions. She ditched me for the drummer, and then tensions flared. Then the fateful day arrived.
Why the serious expression all of a sudden? What happened?
That, princess, I can't tell you straight away. I have a lump in my throat. You'll have to come back later.
Cried and cried for having missed such a magnificent opportunity. I returned home to my father, broken. He said he'd have me back as long as I started working for him, which I did for a while. And I even became good at buying and selling. But there was something missing. And the month went by, and I realized the work was making me feel hollow and empty. My father eventually noticed, and the truth came home. That I regretted not seizing my opportunity with the Sycamore Riding Academy. He decided to use his Scottish network to reopen my candidature, and I was finally accepted. That's how I got here.
So it wasn't exactly legit?
Not exactly, I know. You won't mention it to the others, will you? Please?
Okay, I won't. I'm just happy that you managed to join, because otherwise I would never have met you.
Only goes to show. Sometimes crime does pay.
Hold your horses, Godfather. That's scary talk.
I haven't got much to add about my past. What comes next is up to you.
This is the last part of my story. You remember I was talking about how I kept winning race after race and how despite the warnings from my adoptive parents, I didn't want to stop. After several hours, I hadn't even noticed that my horse and me were utterly exhausted. I hadn't even noticed that night had fallen and that fatigue was making me less and less agile. That's when the irreparable happened. Faye hit a stone and I fell. I was injured, I was forced to abandon, and my epic adventure ended there. When I was back on my feet, I asked my adoptive parents what it was that I was supposed to learn from the race. They replied that I was meant to learn the importance of humility. But I had failed. They said a man had asked to see me after the race. It was Harry Temples, who'd come to watch the race scouting for young talent. He was impressed by my energy. He told me there was a school where I could learn to channel my hunger for victory and build self-control if that's what I wanted. I had lost my horse. He had to be put down because of the injuries. So I accepted and followed Harry to Scotland. That's how I wound up here.
Wow, what a story.
I may appear proud, but my greatest desire is to find inner peace and humility. I have never told this to a soul, but the reason I keep entering competitions is so that one day I might be beaten. Sometimes losing teaches us more than winning.
They are very wise words, Q. It has been a real pleasure listening to you.
I'm sorry, I haven't the time to talk to you. Work is awaiting me.
So tell me about the fateful day, Spike.
Okay, it's not easy to talk about it, but I'm gonna try. As I said, I used to hang around with undesirable types. I thought it was empty, but there were 2 kids my age in the front room when I went in. But strike me down, as I lived and breathed, there in front of me were rock and hard place. The 2 bullying cads who made my life hell at school. I was so busy tying them to a chair with a special knot that I didn't hear the police enter.
That must have been awful.
Oh, you know, I didn't stay for long. My parents pulled the strings and got me free. They pulled me out of London and stuck me in a riding school belonging to one of their chums. This chum's son had also been tempted by the dark side and had come to find inner peace on a horse. They hoped the same for me. Then I just happened to win a competition or 2 and bingo! I was accepted to this academy. But what they don't know is that the anger is still raging, and it's this anger that makes me win competitions.
What, even now?
Now things are different. I've got mates here, people who look out for me, and people I look out for. I'm in a real team. That's what was missing, a real group, a second family.
Yes, we'll always be there for each other.
Hold the violins, Princess. I have a reputation to maintain here. And we have 1,000 hurdles to jump before we can sit arm in arm round a campfire singing songs.
I give up with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'd like to point out right now that a clear round is very difficult on this kind of course. Let's see how the young rider manages. negotiate. Great strides, great command. Great strides, great command. Very well negotiated. Heavens, what a display! Nothing to add. Nothing to add. Great strides, great command. Yes, that was very well negotiated. Great strides, great command. Perfect. Let's hope she keeps this up. Nothing to add. Nothing to add. cows. What a display! Excellent. Now, stay focused. Nothing to add. Yes, that was very well negotiated.
I am delighted to give you this cup. Your performance was exceptional. I'm sure everyone agrees that this was one victory that you more than deserved.
Thank you.
For our champion! Hip hip!
So that is the end of the game. And I feel like that went by so quickly compared to Golden Stirrup Challenge. So next we'll look at the third game, potentially Secrets of the Ranch. That's a really long play as well, and there is no actual end to the game. Once the plot line is done, you can still play the game. Otherwise, I'm still really trying to get Saddle Up Pippafunnel, the Stud Farm Inheritance, to work. So we'll see what I can do or where we can go from here, but I think for the time being, this will be the end of our gaming series until I can figure out what we're going to do next. So thanks for playing along, and we'll see you in the next one.